Hello, 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 my Cha Time listeners. How are you today? I hope you are having a fabulous day or you had a fabulous day, depending on when this video right here drops. You are in Cha Time in the news right here on YouTube. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit like, and then hit share. Okay, again, in that order, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit like, and then share. Now, I just came today to just kind of give you a little background on Nanette.Baker, on Magistrate Nanette.A.Baker, the judge that is assigned to Tim Norman of Sweetie Pies. So I told you I was going to come back with information on Magistrate NanetteA.Baker. What I was trying to find out is like past things because we know that this case is very, very convoluted. It's very, very difficult, but all arrows do point to Tim. Now, this could go either way, and we have to face it. And it's such a sad, sad thing for Michelle Griggs and family because it could play out any way. It could actually play out in favor of Tim getting a house arrest, and it could also play out with him being detained. Now, the fact that she mentioned to Mr. JohnP.Rogers, was he aware of what's her name, Terica's Ellis procedures, her hearing? The fact that she asked that, I didn't know why. I mean, I told y'all that was court mama jumbo, but I understood that clearly. But I know she was asking him, was he was he familiar with that case? And to me, for me, I took that as, are you familiar with that case? Because if you're familiar with that case, now this is me, you all. If you're familiar with that case, then yeah, you kind of can decide where I'm looking at on him being detained, where he'll be detained at. Keep him under federal custody, or yeah, let him be at home on house arrest, working at Sweetie Pies and everything in between. Now, I want you all to drop your comments in the comment box telling me how you feel about this and what way you feel it's gonna go. It's okay for us to talk about it, but I don't want to get stressed out about it either because I am waiting. And I went to moet.org. I'll post that link to the Eastern District Courthouse, and I went there to look at to look at the daily docket. So I looked at her daily docket, and she is booked all next week and the week after, and anything has to do with Tim. It's like, I know she has a jury trial coming up for like next week, and then it's like another hearing, a hearing, and then a bond hearing for somebody. It's also USA person, whoever that person was. But and I'm gonna look into that too. But I was really trying to find, just go look at some past um, bond cases that she's had and other high profile cases that she worked with. And sometimes when you look and see, you can see people with patterns and go like, oh yeah, well, that's a pattern here. Okay, she does not give out bonds, or she release, she does issue out bonds, but each state is different. I do know that, and each judge is different. It's just like I'm a teacher, so each classroom is not going to be the same. I teach one way, somebody else teach another way, because we're all different, and we all could be teaching from the same curriculum, but yet and still my teaching is going to look totally different from that teacher's teaching. But not to say at the same time is that the information that we're teaching is not getting to the children. And that's why I said, when she mentioned asking Mr. Rogers, was he familiar with that? In my head, that immediately struck me as, okay, she asked me, are you familiar with that? Then after she takes this under consideration, she may come back with the same thing. But then I look at the situation of Miss Robbie, and she is very well known. I do not know. People know people, and you don't have to tell, oh yeah, I know I eat at the restaurant. You don't have to tell that, but I don't know. This case here is so freaking difficult, and not difficult in the point of saying Tim is innocent, because my opinion, he is nowhere near innocent in my eyes. Even in the court of law, I do not see him innocent until proven guilty. Anybody else, yes, But Tim, I do not see him as being innocent until proven guilty. None whatsoever. I do not. Okay, I do not see him as being innocent until proven guilty. But in the court of law, in the eyes of law, he is innocent until proven guilty. However, I know based off of what we've read and heard about in the report, everything points to him. But the thing is that we just can't put him there at the scene of the crime. But we definitely know he purchased those phones, and him and Terica had communication, and she got this money. Why would he give her all that money? So whatever the U.S. has, whatever the feds have on him, they obviously has something that's sticking, like it's gonna stick solid. But I just wanted to give you some background on NanetteA.Baker, okay? And she is a ball. And if you're wondering, like, what is a ball? What are you talking about? What is a ball? Okay, that is Tennessee, University of Tennessee. Okay, that is a ball. She is a ball. And NanetteA.Baker began her career as a broadcast journalist, but along the way, she made a sharp turn that brought her to the legal profession. Now, she was nowhere in the legal realm of career. She was in broadcasting journalism, okay? So I just said that because I was like, what? But she was nowhere in legal, like she was nowhere near law. She was working in broadcast journalism. And I thought that was great. She was in journalism. She was a journalist. And so it said today she is chief judge of the Missouri Court of Appeals Eastern District, the first African American woman to preside over a Missouri state court and just the third black judge to serve as chief of the Eastern District. The Eastern District handles about half of the state's intermediate appellate caseload and covers 25 counties plus the city of St. Louis. That is covers. I don't know what I was saying up here, but that is covers 25 counties plus the city of St. Louis. Okay, I didn't intend to pursue a career as a judge, stated NanetteA.Baker. The 1978 UT Knoxville communication graduate explained, I started working at a television station in Knoxville when I was a student at UT. After spending about 13 years as a broadcast journalist in Knoxville, Memphis, and St. Louis, I decided to go to law school. I think that is just simply phenomenal. I mean, I literally was reading this and like giving her kudos and hats off because I think that's phenomenal for her not to even been anywhere in near law, just a journalist, and then all of a sudden jumped in, and now she's sitting as the first Black American appointed judge there. I think that's a great thing. Okay, but let's see what she decides on Tim. Cause I'll probably be like, huh. But okay, she graduated from St. Louis University School of Law and then went to work in Memphis as a judicial law clerk for federal judge Odell Horton. Horton was the first African American federal judge appointed in Tennessee since Reconstruction. Now, I did read about him in college, at Rust College. Baker recalls living in the bush, nowhere close to the nation's capital of Monrovia. We went to Liberia when I was 5, she says. My mother homeschooled me for 5 years. We were there. Back in the U.S., Baker lived in Alabama and Tennessee and graduated from Father Ryan High School in Nashville. Her first job out of law school was as a defense lawyer with the St. Louis firm Lashley and Bear, PC. And she later moved to Litter, Bogard, and Denton, also in St. Louis, where she represented railroad okay, my kid, what's called railroad workers who had suffered on the job injuries. Beginning in 1999, she served 5 years as a circuit judge in St. Louis before being appointed to the Court of Appeals. She has been nominated twice for the state Supreme Court and says she hopes to be considered again. She also might be interested in pursuing a federal judgeship. While she's been making a name for herself in the judicial world, Baker has maintained ties to her alma mater as treasurer of the UT Alumni Association. Recalling her student days, she says she had wonderful professors in the College of Communication and Information and particularly enjoyed volunteer athletics. Okay. She got involved with the Alumni Association as a result of her passion for ball athletics. She went to football game watching parties hosted by the St. Louis UT alumni chapter and eventually became president of the group. She's been a member of the Alumni Association Board of Governors for 8 years and still serves as the treasurer of the St. Louis chapter. Her brother John Baker also is a UT grad. Among her judicial colleagues, Baker is in the minority as an African American and a woman, but she doesn't consider that a conflict. I believe once you put the black robe on, lawyers give you a level of respect, regardless of your race or gender. That is stated by Magistrate Judge NanetteA.Baker. Now, I have to beg to disagree because when I was watching the case about that last quote, when I was watching the trying to think of that jury, the boy that was shot by the police, I can't think his name, y'all. I got so much going on my head. But the case where the young man was in his apartment and the police mistaking it, quote unquote, for the wrong apartment, that judge was highly disrespected in the court of law in front of millions who watched by the lawyer. And I just couldn't, I was just like, oh my God, I'm like no respect, none whatsoever. So I have to say to differ with that. But it's obvious because maybe where she is, they do respect her, and that's a good thing. Because I did watch that case, and I said, that young man's name, that young man that sang and in his apartment, and the woman came in. I can't think of his name, but it'll come to me. But I just did not like the way the attorney spoke to her. That was so rude, and yet she maintained her poise and everything because that that's stigma that's attached to black women that we're so aggressive. I mean, it's a lot of people aggressive. Come on, man. I just get so tired of that stereotype stuff that black women do this. But she remained poised and she carried on through that trial with all of that mess that was going on. But anyway, we just waiting on Magistrate NanetteA.Baker and praying that her decision is in fact that he remains detained behind bars where he needs to be. And here's my reasons why. Because I just don't want to be, you probably like, well, why are you saying it? I feel he should stay detained. And I'm going to be honest, mainly for safety issues, because I want him to stand trial. If he's out, he will be back in the public. I feel like he will get out, he'll be flexing in the restaurant. Now, when I say flexing, I don't mean like, flexing like showing up. I'm talking about flexing like in front of his so-called fans, and it's gonna still be people going to that restaurant and, oh Tim, I don't believe you did what you did. Oh Tim, I can't believe they blame you. Oh Tim, and he's gonna be flexing, because he has that attitude, I don't give a F attitude. That's him, that is him. Now, sitting in that court the other day, like Billy Field said, we couldn't see them, but I was definitely on the phone call listening. And everybody spoke clearly through the mask. For me, I could hear everybody. But Tim Norman, Mr. I don't give a F, you could barely hear him. Now I said, loud as he be on TV, blinking them eyes, come out, well, you do this for trial, well, you get this for trial. And we could hear him just as clear. And then he gets in the court. Now, keep in mind, they had to wear the mask, because she said they had on masks. So, the mask is going to help muffle, so you have to speak clearly. That's why I was like, oh my God, I just put my hand over my mouth to do that, you all. I'm like, oh my God, so I was thinking about, we get in that classroom, the kids not going to know when I'm making sounds, especially those sounds like MP and and B, those sounds are soft. So I'm like, he's not gonna hear because the mask is gonna muffle the sound. But anyway, that mask is muffling him. He up in there just can't do the noise. 73279. That's why some people could barely hear, but I was listening. And some people could barely hear, but I had my ears tuned in. And I was like, oh God, he was born in 79, like a couple of months before me. So, I'm just like, nah, a lot of TV on the TV show. And when he was going off on Janae, he didn't have on a mask, but we know he can speak loudly. And we know he can speak loud and clear. So we know he could speak loud and clear with that mask on. Even he had a mask on. I still heard Magistrate NanetteA.Baker. I heard JohnP.Rogers. I heard the representative for the U.S. Council, but I just could not hear Tim because he all in his feelings. He in his feelings, and I can see him now sitting in there blinking them eyes. He in his feelings, and I just do not get with the fact that and I'm not a mother. I'm not, and at the age I am, I probably never will be. That's okay. I'm not a mother, but what I don't get, what I do not get is, I understand as a mother, you're gonna love your child, but by any means necessary, you don't support them in their wrong because now you're enabling them, and that's what Tim has been all his life. Even when he was in prison, they enabled him. And I'm not saying don't go visit him and do things, but when he came out, Tim didn't have to go through what other people that come out of prison. They really trying to get their life on track and do what's right and live what's right. They actually had to work and find and build trust in people. Where Tim came out and he just went to work for his mom. Like he had his mom there. She was spoiling him because she's blaming herself. And so he was coddled. He was coddled. And so he's spoiled. I see it. He's a big, overgrown, spoiled man. He's rotten to the core. Rancid. That he is very rancid, and like, he stinks. That he's so rancid. So I mean, I'm 41. He's 41, and I even act like I have some sense at times. I know, with people, we're gonna make mistakes, we do things, but I never conjured up a plan to kill somebody, let alone even on my job, plot to set anybody up. There's just some things I just do not do. All I come to go to work to do is do my work, teach the babies, and call it a day. I don't have time for all that unnecessary stuff. But people are people. But when you get in the Word of God and you understand, and you're not spoiled and coddled, then you'll understand life and you appreciate it more, and you'll have respect for people in that space. And regardless how people on this side are doing, you wouldn't be jealous and trying to destroy what they have going on. Tim was very, very spoiled and rotten. He was jealous of Andre. Okay, he was jealous. So my heart goes out to Michelle and her family, because this is a slap in the face with this whole thing. And if he is granted a bail, I don't care if it's $3 million, it's gonna hurt, because Robbie is going to come up if she have to sell sweetie pie. But you all, I'm gonna say this, and this came to me, and then I'm gonna call it quits. But I don't want to beat this like a dead horse, but I'm gonna constantly stay on the daily docket looking for when his bond here is coming up. Is it gonna be before the status conference in December 2nd or what? But I want to say this, like, even though, because I recall on the episode, Robbie saying about she would, never want to lose her restaurant. And I think at one point she wanted to sell it and he didn't want her to. Now it's going to be a time where I do think it's going to be pushed to the test of time. She may come down to actually having to sell her brand just so her son can get out. But at the same time, even if he is given bail, which I pray not, and she has to put her restaurant up, and then when they go to trial, and when that judge comes out, when that jury comes out and they read that verdict and say he's guilty, and if the death penalty on the table or not, they will never see him again, and your restaurant is going to be poof, disappear, gone. So all that she's built can easily come tumbling down in her face. right at this very second. So I'm praying that Magistrate NanetteA.Baker, for the safety of Tim, for the safety of Griggs family, mainly, and the safety of Robbie, because Robbie got to look at what all she has built. It could go away because she's gonna want to get her son out. That means she's gonna have to lose in order just to get him out, because he still is not going to get away with this. Okay, even if she grants him bail, he still won't get away. But I want him to stand trial, so keep him locked up, because once he get out, here's the thing: is he the shooter or who was the shooter? Because guess what? The shooter shot Andre. He may come back for Tim. He may come back for Robbie. He may come for anybody that he feels is going to be in his way and throw him under the bus. So safety issues, leave him locked up. That's how I see it. Leave him locked up for safety issues. For safety issues. And I definitely don't want nobody from the Griggs family to get him, because I don't want them having to be locked up. So keep him locked up for safety issues. Because I'm going to tell you like this: when you're mad. And that's when the devil plays in on that thing we call a brain, but it's his playground. And when it's idle, he plays around in it. And I don't want him to get inside of the minds of anybody in the Griggs family and they feel that they need retaliation. Let God and the court of law handle this, because I guarantee you, he's not going to get away with it. If she grants him bail, it's over for Sweetie Pies. And I'm gonna say that clearly, because Robbie ain't got that much money. I'm telling you, she had her little savings put up good. I mean, more than what some of us have, but $2-3 million is not a lot. And this thing could go anyway, because they could set a bond for 2 million, 3 million, it could be set high and he still get out. Because she'll put her restaurant up just to get her son at home for those couple of months, and then he goes to trial, and then poof, and he ain't gonna be able to work. So because that's gonna go away. That all she worked for would disappear. Just think about it, because she's gonna have to get that money. Best thing to do is leave him locked up. Leave him locked up for safety issues, not just I'm talking about for safety issues, so he won't even hurt anybody else. And if the shooter is still out there, they can come and get him. So my whole stance is safety issues. Safety issues. I'm looking out from all spectrums, okay? Because I don't want the Griggs family to retaliate. I'm praying for them. I'm praying for them. God, hold them strong. I don't want them to retaliate. I want them to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Do not put matters in their hands. Let God and the law handle this. Because I promise you, if he don't serve nothing on this side, he will stand before the great white throne. That's a fact. And if you don't like me saying that, if this is not the page for you, because I truly believe in God in heaven, Jesus Christ came by the way of a virgin, died for us on that cross, and still rose 3 days later with all power in his name. All power. Yes, I truly believe him. And I do believe whatever you don't suffer for on this side, I promise you, you're going to get it. Because, see, here's the thing about it: God chastises those he loves. So he chastises us when we do wrong. Okay, just like your parents chastise you when you do wrong. Well, maybe I know I did. When I got in trouble, I never got a break. I thought I was the black sheep. I never got a break. But, like I said, we're human, we make mistakes, but we learn and we grow and we move on. But we do not need to be plotting to kill anybody or stuff like that, because see, those things just makes a mess. Just like we sitting here today, we all trying to figure out this convoluted case. And I'm telling you, God already got it worked out. He already has it worked out. And I'm telling you all, we're going to pray. We're going to pray. And we all need to get together, set a time, a date, just go and pray, especially when this next detention hearing come up. Go in prayer and fast and ask God to just let your will be done. And I'm praying for him to stay locked up for safety issues. And I'm looking at all spectrums here. All spectrums. For us, everybody. All spectrums. You know, Tim is a threat to society. He's a threat to his family. He's a threat to a lot of people. He's a threat. He is a threat. So, I'm going to close it out. But before I leave, you have just been Charged Our Time in the News here on YouTube. And this was about just Nanette A. Baker. I'm sorry, I was going to say Annette. I had a friend, dear friend named Annette, but Nanette A. Baker. And also, look, check me out on my podcast over at Anchor.fm. I'm also on Spotify, Apple. It's a lot of podcasts that they link me on. So yes, check me out over there and I'll post those links in the description box. Also, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit like, and hit share. And I'm growing here and I just want you to support me. And if you like what I'm doing, then keep coming back and listening. So hit that bell on that subscribe button so you won't miss anything, because every time I get notifications, I listen. I look at other people like Philly Phil. I listen to J So Extra. I love Straight from the A. I love Tasha K. I like Storm Monroe. It's a ton of, Revelation for Christ. It's a lot of people that I watch here on YouTube that support. And everybody has different areas, arenas that, they do on their platform. But I love all of the people. Like when I get those notifications, I even watch animals, you all. When I get some notifications, I watch. So when you get my notifications, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, that bell first. So when you get my notifications, check it out, listen, and then if you like it, click like. If you dislike it, click dislike. I need to know. Post in the comment section what you dislike or what you liked about it. And then share it, okay? Share it. Thank you.